Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another broadcast of the Weekly with me, Neff. Please subscribe to the channel and share this video with a couple of friends and colleagues. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscriptions, and every subscription helps us out with our goal. It looks like Vin Diesel is having a very hard time getting that second part for Fast 10 into development and getting the cameras rolling. I did do a video on this a couple months back saying that really it's kind of like Fast 11 with this one is in jeopardy of just not happening, but it looks like we got an update from WOR. Vin Diesel begs Universal to greenlight Fast 10 sequel. Vin Diesel is calling on Universal Pictures to give Fast and Furious an update on the next movie. In a recent social media post, Diesel made an appeal to the studio asking them to update the best fans in the world on when they can expect the next film. It is pretty clear that Diesel wouldn't be saying this if the next installment was actually happening. Something is going on, and it probably has to do with Universal stalling the development altogether, which is what we speculated on. The last Fast 10 was a failure for Universal. It ended on a cliffhanger, but audiences didn't seem to care enough to demand the continuation. It didn't leave people wanting more. Oh, and the film was an exorbitantly expensive with a budget of over $340+ million. At this juncture in time, there's been very little news about the status of the sequel, as the first part, Fast 10 Part 1, opened in theaters in May 2023, and as mentioned, ended on a cliffhanger. It didn't help that co-star Tyrese Gibson recently pondered whether the film would ever get made. Back in May, Fast 10 director Louis Leterrier confirmed a 2026 release for the next film and that they would start production in early 2025, and that's clearly not happening at this point. Have plans been changed, delays, rewrites? There have been multiple attempts at cracking the script for the next film, with at least 3 writers having already been hired. The original release date for the film was April 4th, 2025, and apparently it's been pushed back now to March 2026, which is interesting. If they're throwing out dates, obviously it's on their schedule. I'll be looking into the production grid to see if I can get any more information on this. Before I finish this article, I do think it's interesting how they're calling it Fast 10 Part 2. It's a psychological marketing tool that the industry has been using, and more in particular with Fast 10, because really, you know, with Fast and Furious, people have gotten fatigued, but they feel like they've watched every film up to this point, so they're kind of suckered in to continuing to see how everything ends. But they do little things like say Fast 10 Part 2, it's really Fast 11. They just know that if people see Fast 11, the fatigue sets in even more. So very interesting how they are going about this film in general. If you remember, Jeff Snyder via his newsletter reported that if another Fast movie were to ever happen, Universal would be going back to the basics, aiming to go lean and mean with the 11th film in the series, an attempt to cut spending that saw the production of Fast 10 inflate to a ridiculously overindulgent $340 million budget. Fast 10 pulled in $714 million worldwide, and the previous 2 had earned over $1 billion each at the box office, and that is true. The highest grossing Fast and Furious, I believe, was Fast and Furious 7, well over $1 billion made there, and they just have not been able to get back to that point. This is kind of like what's happening with Mission Impossible at this point. The budgets are just so big, it's just hard to make your money on these productions, and so there's too much competition around when these films drop. They usually try to drop in the summer, and it's just hard for these films to get any traction with competition right on their heels and the budgets being so, like they say here, overindulgent. But this is going to be interesting. As I said, I reported on Fast. I called it Fast 11, but it's really Fast 10 Part 2 a while back, and even at that time, things were looking a little bit shaky. I feel like I've gotten more information on this new Riddick that we're working on, and that is happening. That's actually something to be kind of interested in, I guess. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes on what's going on with the Fast and Furious franchise. Do they maybe reboot this thing? Maybe just go into another direction? As the studio said, they want to make it lean and mean. Are they going to make it more grounded? Are we going to have people flying in space? I mean, it's getting ridiculous with Fast and Furious overall, but we'll keep our eyes on it. Ladies and gents, let me know what you think about this news. Do you think Fast and Furious 10 Part 2 is going to get made? Do you think they're going to maybe switch the name up to get people interested in maybe going to the theater to finish up this saga? Let me know what you think about this. Subscribe to the channel, share this video with a couple of friends and colleagues, let them know to subscribe as well. Like this video and ring the bell for notifications. If I get any more information on the Fast and Furious franchise, I'll be letting everybody know. With that being said, be safe. It's Neff signing off.